I'm not 100% sure the release of the weekend went like a lot of people thought it would. And I think that's on both sides. So, yes, I'm talking about the Air Jordan 11 Legend Blue officially dropped today when I'm recording this on Saturday, December 14th. And yes, that retail price was certainly $230 for men's sizing and then $185 for grade school. And you go on down, it was full family sizing. And we know that is the appeal. When you think holiday and sneakers, you think 11. I was the exact same way. Now, I still think that in the spirit of the Jordan 11 today, I didn't go for these. Let's just throw that out there right now. Had zero intention, no interest. I've mentioned that in multiple videos now. If you're new here, multiple videos. But in the spirit of the Jordan 11, because I had a lot of errands to run on this really nicer Saturday, because instead of it being like 15 degrees out, it was 40 out. So I will take that in weekend before winter. I had errands to run, so hey, I threw on my very pristine cool gray 11s, my vintage women's oversized Jordan brand Nike Air T, and then distressed denim from Paxson. I absolutely love these jeans. Like I like denim to fall on top of my Jordan 11, and then throw on a peacoat to accent the actual cool gray 11 itself. And I was out to do all the Target things and also multiple errands, but that spirit, it's great. And I know that you have some people that are really being doom and gloom. I don't get it. We can try to talk about it a little bit because that's what we do. Hey, it's Talks with TJ, which means I love to talk about things. Certainly sneakers. It doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and just continue to buy every single pair mindlessly. That I'm past that right now, at least for myself. That's just where I am. But we can certainly talk about it because I don't see a reason to be doom and gloom and to feel any negative kind of way about the Jordan 11 Legend Blue. Not right now. So let's just take a look at the current release day. One, if you rush too fast to say what something did or didn't do, you are certainly setting yourself up to get dragged in your comment section, and it doesn't matter on what platform that may be. Seasoned creators should certainly know that. I'll just say that. But I think a lot of people thought in their mind, because we've seen the Air Jordan 3 Black Cement, we've seen that sit for quite longer than expected. Now, sit has this negative connotation now in 2024. I don't quite get it because you all were complaining about not having access to shoes 2020 through 2022. That was the grievance, that you couldn't actually get your hands on shoes. Didn't matter if it had to do with just supply chain management issues, resellers, bots, you name it, it was a factor. And a lot of people not getting their hands on shoes. Some people were so burnt out from that experience that they are done and they have completely walked away. Others stuck it out, and you've seen brighter days now where you certainly have a more, I guess, fair chance to be able to get a shoe. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get your hands on the shoe that you want. That just is what it is. Sometimes supply and demand, it does not match up. Sometimes it's based on the area that you're in, and I think that will always play a factor for Jordan releases because people saw the Jordan 3 sit and they went, oh, well, this is automatically going to sit because if the Jordan 3 sat, then the Jordan 11, that's going to sit, right? Because you're looking at another $230 sneaker. So certainly that will sit. But did it? Well, if we're looking online, no. So I knew this was dropping, of course, right? 10 o'clock. We all know this. So looking on Sneakers app, just curious, how is this going to fare? Now, let's be real. Let's add context here because I think context is everything. Just because a sneaker sells out on Sneakers app itself, it does not mean that that sneaker is inaccessible for most consumers. There is so much stock allocated to the Sneakers app, and then physical retail stores from Champs to Foot Locker, Finish Line, JD Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods, Hibbett Sports. So many different retailers will have their actual stock, right? And that will be dependent on what region you're also in for how many size runs they get. So just thinking back to my days at Kids Foot Locker, we knew when the big releases were coming in, especially for holiday 11s, because we didn't have space in the back to house all of them. We were falling over stacks and stacks and stacks of Bread 11s and then Concord 11s. The Concord 11 was the very first release I worked. Chaos, madness. Bread 11, super funny. I will never get over someone calling and saying, do you guys have the Breed 11s? Without missing a beat, I go, man, we don't sell puppies here. Now, I was told that I was mean for responding that way. My coworkers were damn near passing out just from laughing. So I feel like I did my part. Okay, comedic relief was there because we were all extremely tired from that day. But you will have a ton of stock in store, and based on your area, though, if people are not rushing in that specific area, then of course you're going to walk in at your local stores and go, well, this is sitting. Not a bad thing. Let's just throw that out there. Not a bad thing if the shoe is sitting. Versus if you look online, and I went back, I believe, maybe 18 minutes later. I'm like, okay, that's enough time to pass. Let me just see what's happening. Bigger sizes were certainly gone by that time. And then when you look, it does say sold out. If you go to Finish Line, majority of sizes are gone. If you go to Foot Locker, majority of sizes are gone. Now, I will just stick with those because those are known as the big retail box store players. Should just say the big retail players in terms of Jordan releases. So it looks as if they've certainly sold out, right? But locally, they may be available. I really want to hold people's hand when I say this. That's okay. Like, there is no need for you to crash out on the internet, especially as an adult, especially if you're like over 30. There is no reason for you to crash out on the internet if a retro sits. It is okay. Everyone is okay. We're all fine. Okay? In good health. I really hope. There is no reason to crash out on the internet if this sneaker sits. Now, there are certainly people that didn't get the shoe, and trust me, I hope that restocks happen and that you're able to. Maybe someone gifts it to you for Christmas. I don't know, but in the spirit of being positive, I certainly hope that that's the case. Now, I know a lot of people are very anti looking at StockX for any reference for anything, and I totally get it. Remember, it is just a gauge of what the market is really showing for this shoe. You can check on any number of sites, and you can look at the various prices. It's based on whatever you're comfortable with, but I think a lot of us will just go on there because it has to do with the actual, just, again, going rate itself. Also, side note, if you see like random StockX links a lot of times, not all the time, but sometimes, like let's say in my videos, YouTube does that itself, okay? So I am not putting those there unless it's like to clothing or shoes that I'm actually unboxing. I just need to throw that out there. Okay, so if you're looking, and let's go past the little people, definitely smaller sizes. Let's look at, starting at a men's 7, you're at 228. A men's 9, you're at 196. Now, let's also add context. You need to actually go and try to check out to see what that size is going to be. So, for example, yes, a 9 may only be 196, but if you want to go and buy that shoe, when you look at taxes, shipping, and everything, you then pay, subtotal is going to be $19.81, but go a little bit further and you're certainly going to pay more. So keep that in mind because it can be lower than retail, which is actually what this may work out to be. It can possibly be lower than retail, but if it's not, I know you're going to jump down creators' throats for saying, hey, let's look at StockX. I get it. But if you're just gauging the actual market itself, no, they're not going for crazy prices. That's a good thing. Like, have you ever seen the phrase, and I'm sure it's out there on social media, remember at some point you prayed to be where you are right now. So many people into sneakers really wanted to get to this point. And now that we're here, that's still not enough. Like, it's not good. Like, you are being super negative about this shoe and you feel some kind of way. Please don't. I think it's amazing that so many people have been able to get their hands on this shoe. And if you did, please just go ahead and comment below. Like, I myself, again, I wasn't interested in this sneaker. Matter of fact, I was even offered an opportunity to possibly do a campaign for it. But in terms of timing, the bandwidth, I have a lot going on. And knowing that this shoe isn't something that I'm just crazy over the top about, it's not something that I wanted, staying true and authentic to myself, I said, this is not going to work for me for a number of reasons. But for those who have the shoe, one, the rollout is something that I appreciated by Jordan Brand for this because they certainly went within the community. Then there are very familiar faces within the community and the culture that you see within the promo and the marketing. And I think that's amazing. People were certainly telling their individual stories when it comes to a Jordan 11 because a lot of people have stories in relation to a Jordan 11. And I think that is one thing that is so great about the sneaker and about the model. Now, for some of us, if we are honest with ourselves, we don't wear the 11s we have right now. So for me, I don't see another 11 being added to my collection, which is a great thing, not only for myself, but also for anyone else, because I'm not in the way for you to get your pair. I am just here to root and cheer for you if you were able to get your pair. Certainly, I hope that you planned ahead for it. I remember I used to do videos like how to plan for a full family size because it's a lot. Even back then, I think it came close to $700 or more if you were looking for, let's say, mom, dad, older kid, and then the rest of full family sizing. I think it had to be somewhere between like, it was a range, but I'm just going to say around $700. It's certainly going to be more now because the prices have gone up. So I hope that you're just always being smart and responsible and planning for it because it will no doubt always fall around the holiday, aka a holiday 11. So it can be taxing, it can be strenuous on you financially, and you're maybe having to prioritize what pair really matters. If my family having all of us having the 11 is the priority for us, then you may pass on a number of different releases leading up to right now. If 2025 is your focus, then this might not have been the release that you went for. And that's okay. Whether a pair sits or whether it doesn't should not be a gauge of if the shoe is for you. And I think maybe that is the frustration that a lot of people have with individuals who may speak out on that on their platform. Now, everyone's platform is their own opinion. That's number one. But number two, you know that there's a lot that comes with you stating your opinion. And the thought that a shoe isn't worthwhile or isn't of value or that a shoe just really has been diminished of what it is simply because it's not selling out like you may have thought it would sell out. Not the best look, I don't think, and you will certainly have people be honest in your comment section about that. And I respect you all for sounding off and giving your thoughts and opinions because that's what we do. Fashion is subjective, people are passionate about it, so they will sound off. I just say, hey, always try to be respectful no matter what. But at the end of the day, we just have to stop gauging a shoe if it fits great by if it sits. It's a different time. And it's going to sit some places. It's not going to sit other places. Does that really matter? I don't think so. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I'm sure it's longer than I intended, but just wanted to get my thoughts out. Again, didn't want to have to hold anyone's hand to say it's okay whether the shoe sells out or doesn't, but I still love the Jordan 11s that I have. I really hope you're able to enjoy the Legend Blue 11 if you picked it up. And if you passed, also great. So please enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.